Good morning, everyone. Just waiting for YouTube to start. Good morning, everyone. We are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, via YouTube streaming, and also via Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this morning's live streaming. Meditation and healing. When I was coming to the end, last few chapters of the book Meditation, the Way to Self-Realization, it dawned for me to introduce few chapters. So in that book, these chapters appeared only as chapters. But as I was going through, one of them was meditation and healing. The other was meditation and Sufism. With the passage of time, these two chapters evolved as series of works. And one thing more, I have taken to pen once again, but in a different format. Soon, a couple books will be coming out. One of them is the letters of Naqshbandi Sheikh Ramchandra Lalaji. The other is poems and songs. So the poems are in Hindi, the songs are in Hindi, the ghazals are in Hindi. Then there is English rendition of those. Of course, everything is in a spiritual dimension. Any song that is written, it has a mystical flavor in it. For instance, एक लम्हा जो गुजरा है तेरे साथ, a moment that is spent in thy company. एक लम्हा जो गुजरा है तेरे साथ, छा जाए जिंदगी में मेरी बन के नूर तेरा. May it spread in my life like as thy light, as thy noor, as thy grace. छा जाए जिंदगी में मेरी बन के नूर तेरा. In that एक लम्हा जो गुजरा है तेरे साथ, छा जाए जिंदगी में मेरी बन के नूर तेरा. And then जिंदगी हो पैगाम मोहब्बत, my life be a message of love. जिंदगी हो पैगाम मोहब्बत, दुआ है यही रब से लम्हा लम्हा. This is my solemn prayer each moment. फूलों को है रंजिश महकाते हैं आशियाने को जब. When something is spreads, manifests out of the noor that is now manifesting, the flowers get jealous. फूलों को है रंजिश महकाते हैं आशियाने को जब. When these words, these messages intoxicate the congregation of Ashik that is known as Ashiana, the lovers' den. गुजर रही है जिंदगी उन्हीं लम्हों के सदके में. Now my life continues to move. Sadka means in the prophets, under the shadow of those moments. गुजर रही है जिंदगी उन्हीं लम्हों के सदके में. And may this life continue like this. This is my solemn prayer. Just I give a literal meaning, but the English rendition will be slightly different. So meditation is the healing. Meditation is the healing. Meditation, the healing. Meditation heals. It makes you whole. It is enough to be whole and healthy. Meditation heals. Medicine heals the physical being. Meditation heals the spiritual, the inner being. The word medicine and meditation comes from the same root. Medicine means that which heals the physical, and meditation means that which heals the spiritual. Both are healing energies. Medicine is an energy. Meditation too is energy. Also try to understand the word healing and the word whole. Both these words also come from the same root. To be healed simply means to be whole. You are not healthy because you are divided. Your mind is divided. There is a discontinuity between the body and the mind, and there is a wide gap. To be healed simply means to be whole, not missing anything. There is yet another connotation of the word, and that is holy. This word comes from the same root. Healing, whole, and holy are not different. In their roots, they come from the same root, and it is significant. In the West, we find it different. Meditation heals, it makes you whole, and to be whole is holy. Holiness has nothing to do with belonging to any particular religion, to any church. It simply means that inside you, you are entire, complete, whole. Nothing is missing. There is no division within. Just there exists oneness. Nothing is missing, and you are fulfilled, satiated. You are what existence wants you to be. You have realized your potentials. The problem that we have, that we want, existence wants us to be in a particular way, but we are not in harmony with that. We want us to be different. This should not be this way or that way. And that was one of the problems that Jesus was facing. When he had to carry his cross on his back. He was expecting that he was a Messiah. He was the only begotten Son, that somehow the other at the last moment a miracle may happen and he would be saved. But then the body was nailed onto the cross, and there the human element in Jesus, the human element that emerged out of the interaction of O woman's sperm, complains, Father, why have you forsaken me? Jesus speaks on behalf of each one of us. When the problems, miseries, misfortune, things do not happen your way, you complain, Father, why have you forsaken me? Thomas Hardy speaks of this in Mayor of Casterbridge through the clergy. It is a soliloquy. The clergy asks himself a question: why do miseries and misfortunes come to a clergy? Why do miseries and misfortunes come to a clergy? Immediately the answer comes from deep within, simply to enhance the favors of Almighty. If you go through the life of Osho, you will realize that he was put in the prison for no reason. You will get panic, but he is rejoicing. In the prison where almost 600 prisoners were, the cell that he was kept in, and some of the prisoners have heard him, had his books, and the nurses and the doctors said that the jailer, the prison officer, never used to visit the prison, but at least 3-4 times he used to come to visit Osho. And the moment people realized, the sannyasi, the devotees, that he is in this prison, the flowers started coming. So many flowers that there was no room to keep in the prison. So the jailer asked what to do with these flowers. Osho told him to distribute in all the departments. Everywhere you share it. Still it was so many flowers. What to do now? Send it to all schools, colleges and universities. And he was joyous. There was no complaint on his lips, no complaint on his countenance. And the jailer said, he brought his family, he said, I would like to take a picture with you, because in few months' time, 2 or 3 months' time, I will retire. This would be the greatest benediction or a joy for me, that I have never seen a person who is liked so much by the people world over. And the doctors and nurses said, I wish you could stay with us. You never leave us. That should be the situation. That can happen only when you have experienced deep within something. You have attained to inner totality. You are healed within. There is no complaint on your face. Father, why did you put me into prison? What was my fault? I was helping the seekers to attain to meditation, to be whole. Why did you abandon me? So Jesus complains. The human element comes onto the surface. Through his example, Jesus showed something which is the situation of each one of us. Then immediately something dawns on him, and he says, let thy will prevail. And that very moment, the moment that word emerges out of him, let thy will prevail, Jesus becomes awakened. Jesus becomes enlightened. He is no more the son of Mary and Joseph. Instead, he becomes the Son of God, the only begotten Son. Jesus becomes enlightened, awakened. With Osho, it was a different expression, different manifestation. Outer circumstances and situations did not disturb his inner peace, inner serenity, inner holiness, inner oneness that he has attained. No division, no conflict, nothing. Whatsoever is important, and it is for a specific reason. In the meditation, in the West, meditation has not yet grown roots, because all three religions in the West, Judaism and two offshoots of Judaism, Christianity is one of the offshoot of Judaism, and Islam is another offshoot of Islam. They are all prayer oriented, based in prayers. And meditation is absolute contraries. Prayer moves outwards. Prayer is addressed to a God you know nothing of. Prayer is addressed to a God that you know nothing of. It is just a belief given to you by your parents, by the society, by the church and the synagogue, and you pray. But there is nobody who is listening to your prayers. There is nobody who is going to answer your prayers. It is always soliloquy. You pray and then you feel that the answer is coming to you. Because what it happens, it makes you composed. And when you are relaxed, you are in a different energy field. Yes, people who pray may feel good. That does not mean that their prayer has been heard. Just praying, they become silent. They become relaxed. Just praying, a certain kind of attitude arises in them. For a fraction of a time, they may put aside their ego, problems and everything else. They become single, pointedly focused on the idea of God, existence of God. It is their idea and their projection too. Still, it will not give them the feeling of well-being. And that well-being is very deceptive. It makes you feel that your prayer is significant and there must be a God. Otherwise, after prayer, why do you feel so quiet, so calm, so composed? Why is it so? Prayer in psychology is a kind of an auto-hypnosis. There is no need for a God. You can concentrate on anything. In India, there are people who worship trees and they get the same feeling. There are people who worship statues, just stones, and they too get the same feeling. There are people who worship the sun, the river, the mountains, and they too get the same feeling. The question is not what you worship. The question is, if you become concentrated, you fall in a hypnotic trance. You fall in a hypnotic trance and hypnotic trance relaxes you. Prayer leads you to a hypnotic trance and it gives you well-being. It makes you relaxed. So if you are doing prayer, just feel well-being. There is no harm in it. It is perfectly good, but it has nothing to do for the search of truth. It has nothing to do with the inquiry into your own being. Meditation moves inward. Prayer directs you to outward. There is a God outside. Their dimensions are polar opposite to meditation. Meditation moves within. Prayer moves outward. Meditation moves inwards and prayer directs you outward. Both are polar opposites. Prayer needs a God, an object. It may be a formless, it may be a form, just as children cannot understand things without being the pictures or images when they are in the process of learning. Their books are very colorful with big letters, and if that is a book on animals, the images of animals are big so the child can identify. Prayer needs a God, an object, and you can have any kind of object. Any kind of object based on your imagination. Hindus used their imagination and they created 33 million gods. Why has just one? You are going to imagine. Why be so miserly? Hindus have gods in abundance. You can choose according to your liking and your choice any kind of God. The moment you look at something, that becomes an embodiment and we give it a form. To outsiders it looks very strange, but they do not understand the psychology of the prayer. It does not matter what are you praying, to whom your prayer is addressed. What really matters is that you should be concentrated. You can do the same just lying down looking at the light bulb without blinking your eyes. You lie down on the bed, keep on looking at the bulb without blinking your eyes, and soon you will fall in a hypnotic trance, a self-hypnotic trance. And when you wake up, you will feel very refreshed, rejuvenated, livelier than ever, and younger too. Just try this as an experiment, then you will know. When I say prayer is not important, you are praying. It does not matter what is the word that you are using, to whom your prayer is addressed to. All that matters that you should be concentrated. You can do the same just lying down on the bed and go on looking at the electrical bulb without blinking your eyes, and you will enter into a hypnotic trance. Enter the hypnotic trance, and when you wake up, you will feel refreshed, rejuvenated, livelier than ever, and younger too. So nothing is wrong as far as all these things are concerned. The problem arises when you think this is religious, when you think this is a spiritual growth, and then you start falling into dangerous fallacies. Religion is a journey inward, not outward. Your prayer is addressed to the outward God. Indeed, meditation is the way of inward journey. What meditation actually does is it takes you, your seriousness. What meditation actually does is it takes you, your consciousness, as deep as possible. Even your own body becomes something outside as far as meditation is concerned. The moment you close your eyes, you become oblivious of the body. Even your own body becomes something outside as far as meditation is concerned. Even your own mind becomes something outside. Even your heart, which is very close to the center of your being, becomes outside. When your body, mind, and heart, all three are seen as outside, you have come to the very center of existence. And that is what meditation means. Even your own mind becomes something outside. Even your heart, which is very close to the center of your being, becomes outside. When body, mind, and heart, all three are seen as outside, you have come very close to your existence or your center. And that is what meditation means. This coming to the center is a tremendous exposition, and it transforms everything as well. This coming to the center is a tremendous explosion, and it transforms everything. You will never be the same man again. You will never be the same person, same woman again, because now you know the body is only the outer and the mind is somewhat inner. I say somewhat inner, but not really your inner core, and the heart too is a little bit more inside. Yet is still not the innermost core. You are disidentified with all three, the body, the mind, and the consciousness. It is because of this that Gurdjieff used to call his way the fourth dimension or the fourth way. Because if you transcend the three, you reach the fourth. You transcend the body, you transcend the mind, you transcend consciousness, you reach to the fourth. The fourth, beyond which there is nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. You have come to the very end, and Hindus call this the fourth, what Gurdjieff calls that fourth way, Hindus call it Turiya, the fourth dimension. But this gives you many experiences. You start feeling for the first time contented, crystallized. For the first time you start feeling a tremendous energy, inexhaustible energy flowing within you. And you were not aware of this energy. For the first time you know that death will happen only to the body, to the mind, to the heart, but not to you. The consciousness will not die. You are eternal. You have always been here, and that is the very meaning of the eternal, the form, the unborn, unmanifest. You are eternal. You have always been here, and you will always be here. Nothing goes out of existence. Life comes, death comes, birth happens, followed by death. Again birth comes, and the cycle continues. But nothing can be taken away from the existence. Nothing can be added to it. You are eternal. You have always been here. And you will always be here, of course, in different forms. But you cannot be destroyed. You are indestructible. Chidanand Rupa, my form is consciousness, bliss, consciousness, mind and bliss. Sat, truth, taste of the truth. Sat, Chit, Anand. Consciousness continues to move, to flow. Truth is an experience. When you have experienced something, you live by that experience. This is the aspect of the mind. And the outcome is bliss, the harmony, the inner oneness. You are eternal. You have always been here, and you will always be here, of course, in different forms. And this process will continue until you assume the formlessness. But you cannot be destroyed. You are indestructible. You are indestructible. That takes the moment you realize that you are indestructible. Fear vanishes from you, and the disappearance of the fear means freedom. It is the fear that makes you slave. Disappearance of fear is the appearance of love. Now you can share. You can give as much as you want, because you have reached to the inexhaustible source of living waters. Many who are thirsty will be coming to you in your limited ways and means. They will find you. There is no need for you to call them. Their very thirst will bring you in contact with them. It is their thirst that will bring you in contact with them. They will come closer to you, because as they come close, they will find their thirst disappearing. And a great contentment arises in you. The same you are, the same as you are, they are becoming. Something of you goes on rubbing onto them. Meditation makes you whole, it makes you holy, it makes you an inexhaustible source of all those who are hungry, thirsty, seeking, searching, and grouping in darkness. You become light, and many can share your light in their being, in their life. And you can see this happening. One candle which is lit, which is lighted, can help many candles to be lighted. Many candles to be lighted, it does not diminish. The light of the candle in lighting another candle does not diminish. The light of the candle remains undisturbed. One enlightened being can share his enlightenment and many can become lighted. He can share his enlightenment, his awakening, his light to myriads of people. But his enlightenment is not diminished. On the contrary, it increases. It goes on growing into different dimensions. The more he gives, the more he is. Not that the more he has, the more he is. A moment comes when he gives himself totally, and that is the moment when he becomes a master. Master is the one who gives himself totally. Then those who are ready to take, who have an opening, who are available, can take as much as they want. Nothing diminishes. You go on taking. The master is only a light. He is not a teacher, but something transpires between him and the disciple. And the moment the disciple also becomes lighted, carry an unlit candle close to the lit candle. It is the unlit candle that knows how close it has to come to the lit candle in order to get lighted. It comes closer, a little closer. Nothing happens. A little more close, still nothing happens. Then all of a sudden it comes so close that there is no gap, and suddenly something jumps like a quantum leap from the lit candle and goes to the unlit candle, and the unlit candle is lit as well. The moment the disciple also becomes lighted, there is no difference between the master and the disciple, and that is the greatest joy for the master, when all his disciples are also masters. They are no more seekers. That has been my whole idea in creating meditations around the world. These sessions, communes are not ordinary organized religions. These are not the communes of the believers. These meditation centers, these meditation sessions are like alchemical labs for transformation and for creating more and more masters. More and more. With less than the master, a Buddha is not satisfied. Meditation is the way to the mastery of your own being, is the way to the mastery of your own being. No God is needed, no holy book is needed. Nobody is needed to become a Christian or a Jew or a Hindu or a Muslim. You are, and that alone is enough. You are, and that alone is enough. All that is needed is to find your center, and meditation is the simplest way to find your own center. It will make you whole, healthy, spiritual, and it will make you so rich that you can destroy the entire spiritual poverty of the world. The monetary poverty, the poverty of the world is not the only poverty. The spiritual poverty is the only thing that is real poverty. The poverty of the physical body for the food, for clothes, for shelter can easily be helped by science and technology. But science and technology cannot help you to be blissful. Blissfulness is beyond their scope, and you may have everything that the world can offer. But if you do not have the peace, do not have the serenity, do not have the silence, do not have the ecstasy within, you are still poor. In fact, you will feel your poverty more than ever because the contrast will be there. You are living in a golden palace and you know you are still a beggar. The golden palace will become a contrast. Now you can see inside there is nothing. You are still empty. And that is why as humanity becomes more and more intelligent and mature, more and more people start feeling meaninglessness in life. More and more people start feeling life is accidental, that it is just futile to go on living. The latest development in philosophy in the West all indicate one thing, that perhaps suicide is the only solution. And of course, if you do not know your inner world, if you do not know your inner world, you have everything available that outside world can offer you. Suicide will appear to be the only solution. Meditation makes you inwardly rich, then suicide is not of any question. Even if you want to destroy yourself, there is no way. Your being is indestructible. You cannot destroy even if you want. Your being is indestructible, and you know this immortality is freedom from death, disease, and from old age too. All those things will come and go, but you will remain untouched. The body may come and go, the mind may come and go, but you remain untouched, unscratched. Your inner health is beyond any sickness, and it is there, just to be discovered. The inner health, the inner richness is there, waiting for you to discover it. Meditation heals. It is healing. It makes you whole. It makes you ecstatic. Only this much for this morning. Until tomorrow, take care and do have a pleasant day.